Hi, are you trying to figure out how to use a diminished chord? Let me show you how. Hi, I'm Kerry Too Smooth. Welcome to my channel. If you're brand new to this channel and you're not subscribed, click the subscribe button so that way you can have access to this channel, and click the notification bell so you always be notified whenever we drop a new video. As a rule of thumb, I tell people whenever they're watching any video that I'm talking about is to watch it all the way through, make some mental notes, and then go back and re-watch it, because I drop a lot of nuggets and I don't want you to miss out on it. So if you feel like that's what you need to do, then you should definitely do that. But let's jump right into this lesson. I'm posed with this question quite often because people are, they love the style that I play and they love how I play, but they're trying to figure out how are you using these diminished chords? How do you know where to go, where you want to go? So I wanted to make a brief video kind of showing, as a rule of thumb, what I do whenever I'm playing, how I use a diminished chord. When I'm playing with my root on the 6th string, that means this is the 6th string. So if I'm playing in the key of G, my root's going to be in the 6th string. I think of things in the number system. So this is my 1. When I go to my 2 and 3 chords, 2 and 3, in between my 2 and 3 chords, starting on the 4th string is where I'm going to use my diminished chord. So between my 2 chord, my 3 chord, my diminished chord. That's how I'm using my diminished chord. That's a rule of thumb for me. That's an easy way for me to remember where my diminished chord is going to be at, so I don't have to overthink. What I try to do is try to make guitar simple for myself, because there's so much going on, so much music you have to learn, and you're trying to remember, oh, so for me to try to be like, oh, where do I go? Where's my diminished chord at? I don't want to overthink it. I want to try to keep it as simple as possible. So whenever I'm playing with my root is on the 6th string, I know between my 2 and 3 chord is where my diminished is going to be at. So let's just say if I'm playing a progression 2, 3, 6, I know after my 6th chord, just because I like the way that it resolves, I don't want to hang on that chord. I'm going to use my diminished chord to color it up a little bit. And I'm going to give you an example of what that sounds like. So my 2 chord, 3, 6, diminished. Also, if you're just learning this technique, just start on the diminished in the 1st position. For those who are a little bit more experienced, that kind of get a little bit more comfortable with this exercise, I would like to slide it to the 2nd position. I do that often. You probably heard it in some of my other YouTube videos. If you listen to some of my production, you'll know like, oh, that sounds like something that Smooth would do. Yes, that's kind of like my signature thing, but I wanted to give you a brief snapshot on how I do it, because I'm posed with this question all the time. So again, going backwards, I like to always associate everything with the number system, so I can make it, I'm using the same formula to make things simple for myself. I don't want to overcomplicate things. I want to keep things super simple so I'm able to regurgitate it and do it every single time. So if I'm playing in the 6th string position where my root is on the 6th string, I'm playing in the key of G, so I know as a rule of thumb between my 2nd and my 3rd chord, right in the middle of that, on the 4th string, diminished is going to go right there. If I know I slide this diminished shape up 3 frets, 1, 2, 3, that's going to be my 2nd diminished position. So I'm going to go from here. And I know this part of the exercise may sound redundant, and it's just like, oh my God, it's like overkill. But what is going to happen when you get ready to slide, you're not going to have to think about where you're supposed to go. You're not going to look and be like, oh, this is where I go. It's going to be second nature for you to slide, to know exactly where you're going to go. So when you have to do that exercise, that's the stuff when you do in your practice time. It's going to be very redundant. It's going to be so overkill. When you're first doing it, it's going to be very mundane, but that's how you land, so you know exactly where you're going to go with its diminished chord, especially if you're not used to playing it. You're not sure how it's supposed to sound or how it's supposed to feel to your hands. This is how you develop that muscle memory. So let me take a pause for the calls right here. Drop a comment. I'll read the comments. So if you're used to using it from the diminished chord, let me know. Or if this is a new concept that you're really excited about learning how to play, drop a comment, because I read all the comments and I love the feedback that you guys give. Let's jump back into this lesson. So to recap, we know that whenever I'm doing any kind of progression, let's say if I'm in the 6th string position, my root is on the 6th string, since we're in the key of G, I know between the 2 and the 3, on the 4th string, my diminished is going to go right there. So as I was showing you before, like learning how to go from the first position, with the diminished to the 2nd position. So what I want to do now is kind of create a progression that's going to help me to remember that, so that way it makes sense. So we're going to go 2, 3. So for those that aren't that familiar with the number system, that would be an A minor 7, a B minor 7, and our 6 is going to be that E minor 7. And then we're going to go to our diminished, right? Which is going to be an A flat diminished. So let's do that progression. So we want to practice. If you're not comfortable, if you're not ready to jump up to the 2nd position, just land on the 1st position. But for those that are ready to jump to the next position, just practice that slide. That's how I use my diminished chord, especially only specifically talking about this particular. We're talking about when the root is in the 6th string position. So this is how I use my diminished chord. For those that have been asking for a while, I finally made this video for you. So I want you to go and practice these techniques. Now, the more you practice, the more comfortable you get. If you have a guitar that has a tremolo bar or whammy bar, whatever you decide to call it, there's ways that you can do it where you can bend, you can float. If you have an expression pedal, you can like slide in. You can use that volume pedal. So there's various different techniques, but this is the meat of how you do it. So I wanted to just do this video because you guys have been asking. I'm like, you know what? Let me reward everybody with it's how to do this, because it's a concept. Once you get it and you master it, you can use it to your advantage. I promise you, I use it to my advantage all the time. I don't do it every single time, but it's about being tasteful and not overkilling it. So you definitely want to know how to not overkill it and be disciplined enough to use it when it makes sense. But now you know the concept. So I use this concept all the time whenever my root is in the 6th string position. If you have a comment, please drop it below. Like I said, I like to read the comments. If you're familiar with the diminished chord and you use it, let me know. If this is a new concept and you're grateful for this video, let me know, because I like to read your feedback. Again, until next time,